I'm standing in a corporate elevator, and my boss, the coldest man alive, just offered me $50,000 to marry him. Mateo doesn't need love. He needs a vice president title. And I, Isla, a broke intern drowning in student debt, need a shield from my parents dragging me back to our small town for an arranged marriage. A perfect contract, no emotions, no mess, just mutual benefit. Except his company requires we move in together immediately to prove we're serious. But when he holds my hand in front of the board of directors, his fingers tremble. Can I keep my heart safe while pretending to be the happiest wife in the world? The coffee cup slips. Everything after that happens in slow motion. The dark liquid arcing through the air, my desperate grab that only makes it worse, the splash against pristine white fabric. Mateo Rivera's white fabric. My boss. The man who once fired someone for being 3 minutes late to a meeting. I'm so sorry, The words tangle in my throat as he stands there, coffee dripping down his chest, staring at me with those cold gray eyes that could freeze hell itself. His jaw tightens. Conference room, 5 minutes. He walks past me toward his office, leaving a trail of coffee drops on the marble floor. The bullpen goes silent. 20 pairs of eyes watch me like I'm already dead. Sarah from accounting mouths, "Run!" from her desk. I can't run. I need this internship. I need the recommendation letter, the chance at a real job, the escape from my mother's weekly phone calls about nice boys back home. I smooth my skirt, grab my laptop, and walk to my execution. The conference room smells like leather and expensive cologne. Mateo sits at the head of the table in a fresh shirt. He keeps spares in his office. Of course he does. Flipping through a document with red pen marks bleeding across every page. He doesn't look up. "Miss Chen, do you know what this is?" "The Morrison contract translation?" My voice comes out smaller than I want. "The Morrison contract translation that was due yesterday. The one I specifically assigned to our Italian specialist Marco, who apparently called in sick this morning." He finally looks at me. "Do you speak Italian?" The question catches me off guard. Yes. My grandmother." "You have 4 hours." He slides the document across the table. "The client calls at 2. If this isn't perfect, you're done here." Not fired. Done. As in my entire career over before it starts. I pull the document toward me, scanning the dense legal terminology, the technical clauses. It's salvageable, barely. I can do it. I meet his eyes, forcing confidence I don't feel. Something flickers across his face. Not quite approval, more like assessment. Then stop wasting time apologizing and start working. I'm halfway to the door when he speaks again. "Miss Chen." I turn. He's watching me with an expression I can't read. "The coffee. Send me your dry cleaning bill." It's the closest thing to kindness I've ever heard from him. The translation takes 3 hours and 47 minutes. I deliver it to Mateo's office at exactly 1:55 p.m., my hands shaking from too much coffee and too little sleep. He reads it in silence while I stand there, watching his eyes move across the page, looking for any sign of reaction. His office smells like leather and bergamot, expensive and masculine. Everything here is precise, pens aligned on his desk, books arranged by height. Even the angle of his computer monitor seems intentional. The phone on his desk rings. "Mr. Rivera, Mr. Morrison on line 1. Mateo picks up, switches to flawless Italian, and I realize he understood every word I translated. This was a test. He talks for 7 minutes, laughing at something, actually laughing, and then hangs up. The sound transforms his face completely. For a moment, he looks younger, almost approachable. "The contract is signed. You saved the deal." He leans back in his chair, studying me with those analytical gray eyes that seem to catalog everything. "Why didn't you mention you spoke Italian on your resume?" "It didn't seem relevant for a finance internship." I shift my weight, suddenly conscious of my worn flats next to his polished loafers. I learned it from my grandmother. She used to, "Everything is relevant, Miss Chen." He stands, walks to the window overlooking the city. Rain streaks the glass, blurring the lights below into watercolor smudges. 42 stories up, the world looks manageable, contained. You have a skill most people in this building don't possess. That's leverage. Never hide your leverage. It sounds like advice. From Mateo Rivera, that's practically a graduation speech. I have a proposition for you. His reflection in the window is sharp against the gray sky. I need someone fluent in Italian for the European expansion project. Full-time position after your internship ends. Significant pay increase. Your own office. My stomach drops. This is where he fires me anyway, right? Some lesson about coffee and consequences? But no, he's offering me everything. The escape route I've been desperate for. Yes, of course, thank you, His phone buzzes. He glances at the screen, and his entire body goes rigid. Every muscle tenses like he's bracing for impact. We'll discuss details Monday. It's a dismissal. I'm almost to the door when I hear him answer. Hello, Mother. His voice has gone flat, emptier than I've ever heard it. I shouldn't eavesdrop, but something makes me pause in the hallway, just out of sight. Through the crack in the door, I can see his reflection in the window. I understand the conditions. Yes. No, I haven't, because I've been focused on work. A long silence. His hand curls into a fist at his side. That's not fair. Another silence, longer. His shoulders curve inward, and suddenly he looks less like the terrifying boss who fired someone over fonts and more like someone's tired son. Fine, the wedding. I'll bring someone. Mateo, you've said that before. I will bring someone. I promise. The words sound like they're costing him something. Yes, I know what's at stake. He hangs up without saying goodbye, stands there for a full minute, staring out at the rain, his reflection ghostly in the glass. Then he picks up a framed photo from his desk. I can't see who's in it from here, and sets it back down very carefully like it might break. When I risk a glance back, he's still standing at the window, phone dark in his hand, shoulders curved inward. For the first time since I started this internship, Mateo Rivera looks breakable, human, lost. The rain keeps falling against the glass, and I slip away before he can catch me watching his private moment of defeat. My apartment smells like mildew and burnt toast. I unlock 3 deadbolts, step over the pile of mail I've been avoiding, and collapse onto my thrift store couch. The springs groan. Everything in this place groans. The radiator, the floorboards, the pipes that bang at 3 a.m. like angry ghosts. My phone rings. Mom. Of course it's Mom. Isla, sweetheart, did you get my message about this weekend? I close my eyes. Mom, I can't come home this weekend. I have work. On a Saturday? What kind of job makes you work Saturdays? She doesn't wait for an answer. Your father and I invited the Chens over for dinner. You remember David? He's an accountant now. Very stable. Very respectable. David Chen, who pulled my hair in 3rd grade. David Chen, who once told everyone I ate worms. David Chen, who is apparently now my mother's top candidate for son-in-law. I'm not interested in David. How do you know? You haven't seen him in 10 years. Her voice shifts, takes on that dangerous sweetness that means she's about to deploy the heavy artillery. Isla, you're 22. Your cousin Jenny is already engaged. Don't you want a family someday? I want a career first. You can have both, but you need to be realistic. That city is expensive. You're living in that terrible neighborhood, eating ramen every night. I'm fine, Mom. You're not fine. You're alone. The words hit harder than she probably means them to. Come home, just for the weekend. Meet David. What's the harm? The harm is that I know how this story ends. One weekend becomes pressure to move back. Moving back becomes engagement to someone suitable. Engagement becomes a quiet life in a small town where dreams go to die slowly, suffocated by good intentions and low expectations. I look around my cramped apartment, the water stain on the ceiling, the window that won't quite close, the stack of bills on the counter I've been too afraid to open. Student loans, credit cards, that medical debt from when I didn't have insurance. Maybe Mom is right. Maybe I'm fooling myself. I'll think about it, I lie. Good girl, I'll tell Mrs. Chen you're coming. She hangs up before I can protest. I throw my phone across the room. It lands on the couch cushion. Survives. Nothing in my life is dramatic enough to break properly. The fridge hums its sad song. I count my remaining ramen packets. 7. Enough to get through next week if I'm careful. My laptop sits on the coffee table, still open to my bank account. $347 until payday. Rent is $800, due in 5 days. I'm not fine. Mom's right about that much. Monday morning, I'm waiting for the elevator when Mateo appears beside me. He never takes the elevator. He uses the private one from the executive parking garage. But here he is, in a charcoal suit that probably costs more than my rent, holding 2 coffee cups. Miss Chen, he offers me one. Black, no sugar, your usual. I take it because refusing would be weird, but my brain is spinning. How does he know my coffee order? Thank you, Mr. Rivera. The elevator arrives, empty. We step inside and he presses the button for the 42nd floor, then doesn't press anything else. The doors close. We're alone. I need to ask you something. He stares straight ahead at the brushed steel doors. It's going to sound insane. My heart starts hammering. This is it, the part where he hits on me, and I have to decide between my dignity and my career. I grip my coffee tighter, ready to throw it if necessary. I need a wife. That's not what I expected. Excuse me? Not a real wife, a temporary arrangement, 6 months, possibly less. He finally looks at me, and his eyes are desperate in a way that makes my chest ache. My family has made my promotion conditional on personal stability, specifically marriage. They believe I'm too focused on work, that I need balance. It's archaic and insulting, but it's non-negotiable. The elevator climbs, 23rd floor, 24th. Why are you telling me this? Because I need someone I can trust, someone intelligent enough to handle the scrutiny, professional enough to keep boundaries clear, and, he pauses, someone who needs something I can provide. Money. The word tastes bitter. $50,000, plus the job I offered you Friday, full benefits starting immediately. His voice is clinically calm, like he's negotiating a business deal, which, I guess, he is. In exchange, you pretend to be my fiancé for 6 months, attend family events, some company functions, move into my apartment to make it convincing. After my promotion is secured, we stage a quiet breakup, and you walk away with enough money to handle whatever financial problems you're clearly dealing with. 30th floor. The elevator feels smaller. How do you know I have financial problems? You wear the same 3 outfits on rotation. You make your own coffee instead of buying it. Last week I saw you putting half your lunch back because you couldn't afford the full sandwich. He says it without judgment, just observation. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm offering you a solution. My face burns. I've been so careful, and he's noticed everything. This is crazy. Yes. Completely unethical. Probably. I could lose my job if anyone found out. You could lose your job anyway if you can't pay rent. His eyes meet mine. Isla, I'm not a good man. I'm demanding, difficult, and I have no interest in actual marriage or love or any of those things people lie about. But I am honest, and I keep my promises. I need this promotion. You need money. We can help each other. 40th floor. The elevator slows. I should say no. This is insane. Fake marriage to my boss? It's like a bad romance novel. Except in romance novels, the heroine doesn't have $60,000 in student debt and parents who won't stop calling about David Chen, the accountant. The elevator stops. 42nd floor. The doors don't open yet. 75,000, I hear myself say, and you write me a recommendation letter for any job I want after this ends. Something flickers across his face. Surprise? Respect? 75,000 and the recommendation letter. Deal. He extends his hand. I stare at it, this terrible, tempting offer, wrapped in an expensive suit and cold gray eyes. I shake his hand. His palm is warm, dry, steady. Deal. The elevator doors open. We need rules. It's 10 p.m. and Mateo led me to the parking garage after everyone else left. His car is a sleek, black Tesla that probably costs more than my entire education. I lean against it, arms crossed, while he paces. Agreed, I'll draft a contract. No, I cut him off. I don't trust legal documents I don't understand. We talk through everything first, then you can lawyer it up. He stops pacing, looks at me like he's seeing someone new. Fine, your terms first. No sex. The words come out harder than I mean them to. This is business. We're not blurring those lines. Agreed. I have no interest in complicating this arrangement. He pulls out his phone, starts typing notes. What else? I need my own space, a room with a lock. I'm not actually living as your wife, just playing the part in public. The penthouse has 3 bedrooms. You can have the one with the city view. He doesn't look up from his phone, though we may need to share the master bedroom occasionally if my mother visits unexpectedly. My stomach flips. Define share. I'll take the couch. Or the floor. I'm not a monster, Isla. He finally meets my eyes. Anything else? 100 things, but I focus on the practical ones. I want the money in installments, not all at once. That way, if you back out, I've at least gotten something. 15,000 up front, 30,000 at 3 months, 30,000 when we're done. He types faster. But if you back out early, you return whatever you've been paid so far. That's not fair. What if you're unbearable to live with? Then suffer for 3 months and leave with $45,000. His lips almost curve, not quite a smile. I promise I'm not unbearable, just particular. Particular? I laugh and it sounds slightly hysterical. You fired someone for using the wrong font in a presentation. Comic Sans, for a financial report. He says it like it's a war crime. Some things are unforgivable. We're joking. I'm negotiating a fake marriage with my terrifying boss in a parking garage at night, and we're joking about fonts. This is my life now. My mother cannot know the truth, I say, ever. She'd be devastated. Something in his expression softens. My family can't know either, especially not my sister. She still believes in love, fairy tales, all of it. He shakes his head. She'd never forgive me if she knew I was faking this. So we lie to everyone we care about for 6 months. Yes. The parking garage is cold. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. Somewhere a car alarm chirps off. I have one more condition, Mateo says quietly. If at any point you feel unsafe, uncomfortable, or you want out for any reason, you tell me. Immediately. No apologies, no explanations necessary. You just leave, keep the money, and I'll handle the fallout. I wasn't expecting that. Why? Because this is already morally questionable enough. I won't add coercion to the list of things I'm doing wrong. He holds out his hand again. Do we have a deal, Isla? I should call my mother. I should talk to a lawyer. I should do literally anything except shake the hand of a man offering me $75,000 to lie about being in love with him. I shake his hand anyway. Deal, Mateo. His fingers tighten around mine for just a second. Then he lets go, unlocks his car with a beep that echoes through the garage. Good. Move in this Saturday. I'll send you the address and a list of things you'll need to know about my family. He opens the driver's door, pauses. And Isla, delete any dating apps you have. From this moment forward, as far as the world is concerned, you're mine. The word mine does something strange to my pulse. He drives away, and I'm left standing in the empty garage, wondering what I've just agreed to. The contract arrives via email at 2 a.m. I'm lying in bed, staring at my ceiling crack, when my phone lights up. 23 pages of legal terminology that makes my head hurt. Clauses about public appearances, social media restrictions, confidentiality agreements, breach penalties. Clause 7.3, both parties agree to maintain physical boundaries appropriate to a professional relationship, with the exception of necessary public displays of affection required to maintain the appearance of a genuine romantic relationship. Necessary public displays of affection. I'm going to have to touch him, hold his hand, maybe kiss him if people are watching. My stomach does something complicated. Clause 12.8. The first party agrees to provide the second party with suitable professional attire for public appearances, with all clothing to be selected by the second party to ensure comfort and personal style preferences are respected. He's going to buy me clothes, because mine aren't good enough for his world. I scroll through page after page of contingencies, exit strategies, non-disclosure penalties. It's thorough, almost obsessive in its detail, like he's thought through every possible way this could go wrong and tried to protect us both. At the bottom, please review and sign by Friday. We'll need to make the engagement announcement before my sister's wedding next month. Next month. I have 30 days to become someone's fake fiancé. I screenshot the signature page, use my finger to scrawl my name across the screen. It looks shaky, uncertain. I delete it and try again. Firmer this time. Send. 3 minutes later, my phone buzzes. Received. Come to my office tomorrow at 6 p.m. We need to go over backstory and timeline. Another buzz. Thank you, Isla. I know this isn't easy. It's the first time he's acknowledged that this might be hard for me, that I'm not just a business transaction, a solution to his problem. I stare at those words until my screen goes dark. Sleep doesn't come. The penthouse smells like pine and expensive minimalism. I stand in the doorway with my one suitcase, taking in floor-to-ceiling windows that frame the entire city, furniture that looks like it belongs in a museum, art on the walls that might actually be worth more than my student debt. Everything is sharp angles in clean lines, blacks and whites and grays. A massive kitchen island gleams under pendant lights that look like frozen raindrops. The living room could fit my entire apartment 3 times over. There's no color anywhere. It's beautiful and sterile, like a high-end hospital, or a very expensive tomb. Your room is this way. Mateo appears from somewhere, maybe the kitchen. Everything flows together in this place. He's in casual clothes for the first time I've seen. Dark jeans, a gray Henley that shows off shoulders I definitely shouldn't be noticing. His feet are bare. Somehow that small detail makes this all feel more invasive, more real. He picks up my suitcase before I can protest, carries it down a hallway lined with abstract photographs, all black and white, all architectural, buildings, bridges, angles of steel and glass. No people anywhere, just structures, empty and perfect. You take a lot of photos, I say, just to fill the silence. I find structure calming. He stops at a door, opens it. This is yours. The room is bigger than my entire apartment. King bed with white linens so crisp they look like they've never been slept in. A desk by the window, the kind with hidden drawers and clean lines. An entire wall of empty built-in shelves waiting for belongings I don't have. The view looks out over the harbor, boats bobbing like tiny toys in the dark water. In the distance, a bridge spans the bay, its lights reflecting on black water. The bathroom is through there. He points to another door. We'll share it until my mother's visit is over. After that, you can use the guest bath if you prefer. Share a bathroom. Of course, because we're supposed to be living as a couple. I'll see his toothbrush next to mine, his razor on the counter, all the intimate daily evidence of another person's existence. Where's your room? Next door. The wall between us is well insulated. You won't hear anything. He sets my suitcase on the bed with surprising gentleness. I'm usually gone by 7 a.m., back around 8 p.m. I won't disturb you more than necessary. It's so formal, like he's a landlord showing me a rental property, not a man I'm supposed to be madly in love with, not someone I'm about to build a fake life with. Mateo, he turns, hand on the doorknob. His fingers are long, elegant. I notice things like that now, apparently. What do we do now? Now you unpack. Tomorrow we start learning how to be convincing. His jaw tightens, and I see a muscle jump there. My mother is very perceptive. If we can fool her, we can fool anyone. And if we can't? He meets my eyes, and for a second something flickers there. Fear, maybe, or determination. Then we fail together, but I don't plan on failing. He leaves, closing the door softly behind him. The click of the latch sounds very loud in the silence. I sink onto the bed, so soft it feels like floating, and look around this beautiful, empty room. Through the window, the city glitters like scattered diamonds. Somewhere out there is my cramped apartment, my struggling life, my mother's disappointed voice on the phone, my grandmother's photo in its cracked frame, the water-stained ceiling I used to lie under, counting the ways I might escape. I've traded it all for this pristine cage. My suitcase sits unopened. Inside, 3 days of clothes, my laptop, a framed photo of Nona smiling in her garden. Everything I own that matters fits in one bag. The thought should be depressing, but instead it feels almost liberating. Nothing to lose, nothing weighing me down. I don't unpack. Not yet. Unpacking feels too permanent, too real, like admitting this is my life now. Instead, I walk to the window and press my palm against the cold glass, watching my breath fog around my hand. Down below, people move like ants, living their normal lives, unaware that 42 stories up, a girl is about to sell her heart for $75,000 and prays she gets it back intact. I'm sitting at Mateo's kitchen island, eating takeout Thai food from containers that cost more than the food, when his phone rings. He glances at the screen and goes pale. Actually, pale. It's my mother. He looks at me, then at my suitcase still sitting unpacked by the door. She's downstairs. What? I nearly choke on a noodle. You said we had time. You said next month. She wasn't supposed to be in the city until Wednesday. He's already moving, grabbing my suitcase, practically throwing it toward the bedroom. She wants to meet you. Right now. Tonight. I haven't showered. I'm wearing yoga pants. We haven't even practiced our story yet. Then we improvise. He stops in front of me, grabs my shoulders, his grip tight enough to ground me through the panic. Isla, listen, we met 3 months ago when you spilled coffee on me. I was charmed by how you handled it. You didn't grovel. You were professional. We started having lunch together. I asked you out. You said yes. We fell in love quickly because when you know, you know. When you know, you know, I repeat numbly. I proposed last weekend, took you to the harbor down on one knee, the whole thing. You cried, happy tears. Did I say yes right away, or did I make you sweat? His lips twitched despite the panic. You made me sweat for 30 seconds. Then you tackled me and we almost fell in the water. That's actually kind of cute. I know, I've been planning this for weeks. His hands are still on my shoulders. His eyes are wild, desperate, but there's something else there too. Something that looks almost like please. Can you do this? The buzzer sounds from the lobby. I think about my mother's voice. You're alone. I think about David Chen, the accountant, and a life that feels like wearing shoes 2 sizes too small. I think about $75,000 in a future that might actually include options. Yes. I grab his hand, warm, steady despite his panic. I can do this. He squeezes my fingers. Thank you. The buzzer sounds again. One more thing. I yank him back as he moves toward the door. Where's my ring? His face goes blank. Shit, I don't have a ring. You proposed without a ring? It's being sized. He says it like he's trying to convince himself. Custom made, Italian designer. It's been at the jeweler for 2 weeks. You'll have it by Friday. By Friday, I repeat, by Friday. We stare at each other for one more second. Then he presses the button on the intercom. Mom, come up. I run to the bedroom, stuff my suitcase in the closet, smooth my hair, pinch my cheeks for color. In the mirror, I look terrified. I force a smile. It looks deranged. This is fine. Everything is fine. I'm just about to meet my fake fiancé's mother while wearing yoga pants and pretending I'm in love with a man who, 48 hours ago, I barely knew existed. The elevator dings in the hallway. Mateo appears in the doorway. Ready? No, absolutely not. Never. Let's do this. I take his hand and we walk out together to face the first test of our beautiful lie. His mother's name is Elena, and she has the kind of elegance that makes you check your posture. She sweeps into the penthouse wearing camel cashmere and pearls, her dark hair pulled into a chignon that probably requires professional help. Her eyes, the same gray as Mateo's but warmer, more knowing, take in everything. My yoga pants, my hastily smoothed hair, the way Mateo's hand trembles slightly when he takes her coat. Mama, he kisses both her cheeks, European style. This is Isla, the girl who spilled coffee on you. Elena's smile is kind but assessing. She takes my hands in hers and her skin is soft, expensive. My son called me at midnight 3 months ago, laughing. Do you know how rare that is? No, I'm glad I could. I'm babbling. Stop babbling. He said, I met someone who doesn't apologize for existing. Those were his exact words. She squeezes my hands. Show me your ring. My stomach drops. Mateo's hand finds the small of my back, steadying. It's being sized, he says smoothly. Custom design, Italian goldsmith. Isla has her grandmother's hands, very delicate. It needed adjustment. My grandmother had small hands too. Elena releases me, moves to the window. This view. Mateo, you never told me it was so beautiful at night. You've never visited at night before. Because you never invited me. She turns, and there's hurt in her eyes that makes my chest ache. But now you have a reason to come home before midnight. That's progress. The silence stretches. I can feel Mateo struggling beside me. This man who commands boardrooms and fires people over fonts, completely disarmed by his mother's gentle reproach. Would you like tea? I hear myself offer. I was just about to make some. Elena's expression softens. That would be lovely. Mateo, help her. I want to see you two together in your space. The kitchen is a battlefield of gleaming appliances I don't know how to operate. Mateo reaches past me for the kettle, and his cologne, cedar and something citrus, floods my senses. He's so close I can feel the heat of him against my back. Top cabinet, left side, he murmurs. Chamomile. She likes it before bed. His hand brushes my hip as he moves away, and it feels rehearsed, even though we've never practiced this. Natural, like we've danced this kitchen choreography 100 times. I find the tea. He fills the kettle, sets it to boil. We move around each other with careful precision, hyper-aware of every nearness, every accidental touch. How long has she been planning this visit? I whisper while the water heats. She wasn't. I think she suspected I was lying about having someone. His jaw tightens. She came to catch me in it. So we need to be perfect. We need to be believable. He reaches past me again, deliberately this time, and pulls down 3 mugs. His arm brackets me against the counter for just a second. Couples who've been together 3 months aren't perfect. They're still learning each other. From the living room, Elena calls out, "Mateo, where did you put my book? The one about Venetian architecture?" "Bedroom nightstand, Mama, left side." She appears in the kitchen doorway, the book already in hand, a small smile playing at her lips. "You remember. I always remember your books." Something passes between them, some old hurt being carefully tended. Elena looks at me and her smile grows. He remembers everything. It's both his greatest strength and his worst flaw. Be patient with him when he can't forget the small things that hurt. The kettle screams. Mateo pours water over tea bags, and the smell of chamomile fills the space between us. We sit in the living room, Mateo and I on the couch, Elena in the chair opposite. She asks gentle questions. How did we really meet? What do I do at the company? Have I met his sister yet? Each answer we give builds on the last, creating a story that feels almost true in the telling. And your family, Isla? What do they think of Mateo? The question lands like a stone in still water. I haven't told my mother, haven't even hinted, because telling her would make this real, and I'm still not sure what real means anymore. They're cautious, I say carefully. My mother worries I'm too young, that I'm rushing into something. Mothers always worry. Elena sets down her empty mug. But I can see the way you look at each other when you think no one is watching. That's not rushed. That's inevitable. She stands, kisses Mateo's forehead, then mine. I should go. Let you two get back to your evening. But Mateo, bring her to the house for Sunday dinner. Your sister will want to meet her before the engagement party. Engagement party? I manage not to choke on the words. Of course. We'll host it next month before Isabella's wedding. Something intimate, just family and close friends. Elena pulls on her coat, adjusts her pearls. Welcome to the family, Isla. I'm so glad my son finally found someone who makes him laugh. The door closes behind her. The elevator dings. Silence crashes down. Mateo and I sit on opposite ends of the couch, the space between us suddenly enormous. That was, I start. Exhausting, he finishes. He runs both hands through his hair, destroying its perfect arrangement. She bought it, I think. She definitely bought it. I pull my knees to my chest. Your mother loves you very much. I know. He stands, starts collecting the mugs, which is why lying to her feels particularly terrible. We could tell her the truth. He freezes, mug halfway to the kitchen. No, absolutely not. She'd never forgive me. He looks at me over his shoulder, and she'd worry that I'm broken beyond repair, that I've given up on actually finding love. I can't do that to her. The admission hangs in the air between us. Mateo Rivera, who negotiates million-dollar deals and fires people without flinching, is terrified of disappointing his mother. So we keep lying, I say quietly. So we keep lying. He disappears into the kitchen, water runs, dishes clink. You should get some sleep. Tomorrow we have brunch with my sister, and Isabella is significantly harder to fool than my mother. I stand, head toward my bedroom, then pause. Mateo, earlier when you touched my hip in the kitchen, was that on purpose? Yes. He doesn't turn around. Couples touch casually, small gestures. It needs to look instinctive, not planned. We'll have to practice. Practice touching each other. This arrangement gets more complicated by the hour. Good night, Mateo. Good night, Isla. I close my bedroom door, lean against it. Through the wall, I can hear him moving in his room. Water running in the bathroom we share. The soft thud of a book dropping onto a nightstand. I've never lived with a man before. Never shared a space with someone whose breathing I can hear through the walls, whose morning routine will become as familiar as my own. The bed is too soft. The room is too quiet. Outside, the city glows, and somewhere in it, my old life continues without me. My apartment sitting empty, My mother planning Sunday dinner with David Chen. My friends wondering why I haven't returned their texts. I pull out my phone. 17 missed messages. I turn it face down on the nightstand and close my eyes. This is fine. This is temporary. This is just pretend. I repeat it like a prayer until sleep finally comes. The alarm wakes me at 6:30. For a moment I forget where I am. The bed is too comfortable. The sheets are too expensive. Then memory floods back. Fake engagement, terrifying boss, penthouse prison. I smell coffee. The bathroom door is closed, shower running behind it. I press my ear against the wall between our rooms. Silence. He's already up, already functional. Of course he is. I wait until the shower stops, count to 60, then ease open my bedroom door. The hallway smells like espresso and something baking. In the kitchen, Mateo stands at the counter in dress pants and a half-buttoned white shirt, reading something on his tablet while the coffee machine hisses. His hair is still damp. There's a small cut on his jaw where he must have nicked himself shaving. He looks almost human like this, caught between sleep and the armor of his work persona. Morning, my voice comes out rough. I probably look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. He glances up, and something flickers across his face. Surprise, maybe. You're awake. I tried to be quiet. You were. I just couldn't sleep much. I move toward the coffee maker like it's a life raft. Is this the expensive Italian one? It's just coffee, Isla. Help yourself. He goes back to his tablet. There are croissants in the oven. Elena sent them up this morning with a note about feeding you properly. Of course she did. His mother has decided I need mothering. I pour coffee into a mug, simple white ceramic, perfectly weighted, and just hold it for a moment, letting the warmth seep into my palms. Mateo's presence fills the kitchen, makes it hard to remember this is supposed to be my space too now. We have brunch with Isabella at 11, he says without looking up. Wear something nice, but not too formal. She'll read into everything. What should I know about her? She's 27, works in art curation, recently engaged to someone named Marcus, who I've met exactly twice. He sets down the tablet, finally gives me his full attention. Isabella is warm where I'm cold, emotional where I'm logical. She'll want to know everything about our relationship, and she'll know if we're faking. So we can't fake it. We have to become it. He moves closer, and I'm suddenly aware of my ratty sleep shirt and unbrushed hair. May I? May you what? He reaches out, slowly, and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers graze my cheek, and I forget how to breathe. Small touches, like this. They need to be instinctive. Right now you flinched. I didn't flinch. Your pupils dilated and you held your breath. That's flinching. His hand drops away. We need to practice physical proximity, build comfort. Otherwise, every time I touch you in public, you'll react like I've shocked you. He's right. I hate that he's right. Okay, so we practice. The word feels loaded, dangerous. This morning, while we have coffee, you sit closer to me on the couch. I put my hand on your knee while we talk. You lean into me like it's natural. He demonstrates, guiding me to the couch, settling beside me. His thigh presses against mine. Like this, just existing in each other's space. His hand rests on my knee, warm through the thin fabric of my sleep shorts. Not moving, not pushing, just there, present. The weight of it rewrites every nerve ending in my body. How does this feel? His voice is clinical, detached, like we're conducting a science experiment. Fine. A lie. It feels like every molecule of my skin is aware of exactly where he's touching me. Completely fine. You're lying. But he doesn't move his hand. That's okay, we'll work on it. For now, just try to breathe normally. We sit there, drinking coffee, his hand on my knee, while the sun rises over the harbor and the city wakes up below us. He talks about the European expansion project, and I try to focus on his words, instead of the heat of his palm, the solid presence of him beside me. After 10 minutes, I realize I've stopped noticing the touch. It's just become part of the morning, like the coffee and the croissants and the sound of traffic 42 stories below. Better, he says quietly. You're not flinching anymore. Maybe I'm just getting numb, or maybe you're getting comfortable. He stands, removes his hand, and the absence feels like loss. Get dressed. We leave in 2 hours. Isabella doesn't tolerate lateness. He disappears into his bedroom, and I'm left sitting on the couch, my knee still warm from his touch, wondering how I'm supposed to fake being in love with someone when every real moment between us feels like stepping off a cliff. The restaurant is all white tablecloths and too many forks. Isabella Rivera is beautiful in the way that makes you understand why people write poetry. Dark curls that catch the light, her mother's elegant bone structure, but with an animation that Mateo lacks. She hugs him so hard he actually stumbles, then turns that megawatt attention on me. You must be Isla. She doesn't shake my hand. She pulls me into a hug that smells like jasmine and joy. Oh my God, you're tiny. Mateo, she's a person, not a houseplant. Isabella, tell me everything. How did my emotionally constipated brother manage to trick someone into falling in love with him? I launch into our practice story, but Isabella interrupts within 30 seconds. Wait, you spilled coffee on him and he didn't immediately fire you? She looks at her brother with exaggerated shock. Who are you? I was charmed by her professionalism. Charmed. You. Isabella sits back, studying us both. Okay, now tell me what really happened. When did you realize you actually liked each other? Silence. We didn't rehearse this. It was gradual, I say carefully. For you, maybe. Mateo's voice is quiet. I knew the second day. Isabella and I both turned to stare at him. You stayed late to finish the Morrison translation. Everyone else had gone home. He's staring at his water glass. I asked if you wanted help. You said no. You said you needed to prove you could do it yourself. And I thought, here's someone who doesn't need me to save them. Someone who fights their own battles. Mateo, Isabella breathes. That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard you say. He picks up his menu. Can we order? I have a call at 2. But Isabella is still watching us, her expression shifting from playful to serious. You really love her. Obviously. No, I mean really, the scary kind, the kind that changes things. We order food. The conversation shifts to wedding planning. Isabella's wedding, consuming her entire existence. She shows me photos, I offer opinions, playing future sister-in-law. Under the table, Mateo's hand finds my knee. I don't flinch. The dress arrives on a Wednesday with a note. For Friday, wear your hair down. M. It's midnight blue silk that probably cost more than 3 months of my old rent. I try it on in my room, and it fits like it was made for me. Because it probably was. Mateo doesn't do anything halfway. Friday night, I stand in front of the bathroom mirror, attempting something sophisticated with my hair. Through the door, I can hear Mateo in his room, the soft rustle of fabric, the clink of cufflinks. Isla, we need to leave in 10 minutes. I give up on sophisticated. Hair down it is. The dress moves like water when I walk. I've never worn anything this expensive, never been to a gala, never pretended to be someone's fiancé in front of hundreds of people who could end my career with one raised eyebrow. Mateo is waiting in the living room, adjusting his bow tie. He's in a tuxedo that makes him look like he stepped out of a cologne ad. When he turns and sees me, something in his expression stutters. You look... He stops, starts again. The dress fits well. That's not a compliment. You look beautiful, Isla. Is that better? But there's something in his voice that makes the words sound true rather than strategic. The car service takes us downtown. Mateo briefs me in the back seat. Who's who, what I need to know, which board members are crucial to impress. His hand rests on my knee the entire drive, Practice, I tell myself. Just practice. The venue is a restored bank building, all marble columns and gold leaf. People in designer everything sip champagne and network. I recognize faces from Forbes covers. This is Mateo's world, and I'm an imposter in borrowed silk. Breathe, he murmurs in my ear. His hand finds the small of my back. You belong here as much as anyone. I make $35,000 a year. You speak 3 languages and saved $1 million deal. Net worth doesn't determine value, Isla. He steers me toward a cluster of executives. Remember that. The next hour is a blur of introductions. People congratulate us. Women admire my ring. I've started wearing a placeholder, simple sapphire that Mateo produced from somewhere. Men clap Mateo on the shoulder and make jokes about him finally settling down. She's tamed the beast, someone says, and everyone laughs. The beast needed taming, Mateo replies smoothly, pulling me closer. Isla saw potential where everyone else saw a lost cause. He's good at this. Too good. Every touch, every glance, every word is calibrated perfectly. I'm watching a masterclass in performance. Then she appears. The woman is stunning in red. Tall, blonde, the kind of beauty that stops conversations. She moves through the crowd like she owns it, and maybe she does. Her eyes lock on Mateo, and something predatory flashes there. Mateo Rivera. Her voice is honey and poison. It's been too long. Mateo's entire body goes rigid against me. Catherine. Catherine. The ex. The woman from the photo he kept hidden. Aren't you going to introduce me to your... She looks at me like I'm a curiosity under glass. Companion? Fiancée. The word comes out sharp. Isla, this is Catherine Blackwell. We used to work together. Catherine, this is Isla Chen, my fiancée. Fiancée. Catherine's smile doesn't reach her eyes. How wonderfully sudden. Mateo, you always were impulsive when you wanted something badly enough. There's history in those words, barbed wire wrapped in silk. It was lovely seeing you, Catherine. If you'll excuse us, Mateo starts to guide me away. I heard about the VP position. Catherine's voice follows us. Congratulations. I'm sure having a stable personal life finally worked in your favor. The board does love a reformed workaholic. We don't stop walking until we're on the far side of the ballroom. Mateo's jaw is so tight, I'm afraid he'll crack teeth. That was her. It's not a question. Yes. The one who... Yes. He grabs 2 champagne flutes from a passing waiter, hands me one. Can we not discuss this here? She implied you're only getting promoted because of me, because of us. She implied a lot of things. Catherine is very good at implications. He drains half his champagne in one swallow. Let's dance, people are watching. The dance floor is crowded. He pulls me into his arms and suddenly we're too close, moving to something slow and instrumental that I don't recognize. His hand spans my waist. Mine rests on his shoulder. We're touching in all the ways we've practiced, but this feels different, sharper. I'm sorry, he says quietly. I didn't know she'd be here.
Do you still love her?
No, no hesitation. I don't think I ever did. I love the idea of not being alone. She wanted access to my family connections. It was transactional. Like us. His hand tightens on my waist. Not like us. How is it different? Because you're honest about what this is. She pretended it was love while calculating her ROI. He's quiet for a moment. And because when I touch you, you don't feel like a business transaction. My breath catches. Around us, couples sway, chandeliers glitter. Catherine Blackwell watches from across the room, her expression calculating. What does it feel like? I ask. He leans down, his breath warm against my ear. Like I'm forgetting this is supposed to be pretend. The song ends. We stand there still holding each other, while applause ripples through the crowd and my heart tries to remember how to beat normally. The man's name is James, and he won't stop touching my arm. We're at the bar, where I escape to catch my breath after the intensity of dancing with Mateo. James is a junior partner from a rival firm. Handsome in an obvious way, charming in a way that feels practiced. He's been telling me about his yacht for 10 minutes. "You should come sailing sometime," he says, his hand landing on my forearm. Again. "I'd love to show you the harbor at sunset." "That's kind, but She's engaged." Mateo appears like a storm front, his presence suddenly filling all the space around us. "To me, which you would know if you'd been paying attention to anything other than her dress." James's hand retreats. "Mateo, I didn't realize." "You didn't ask." Mateo's voice could cut glass. His hand finds my waist, possessive in a way we haven't practiced. "Isla, your mother is trying to reach you. Something about Sunday dinner." I don't have any missed calls, but James doesn't know that. "Excuse us." Mateo steers me away from the bar, through the crowd, out onto a balcony that overlooks the city. The night air is cold against my overheated skin. "What was that?" I round on him. "You practically marked territory back there." "He was hitting on you." "So what? People hit on people at parties, that's what happens." "Not when you're wearing my ring." He paces the length of the balcony, and I realize his hands are shaking. "Not when you're supposed to be mine." "I'm not yours, Mateo. This is fake, remember? An arrangement. You don't get to be jealous of someone I was just being polite to." "I'm not jealous." But his voice says otherwise. "I'm protecting our cover. If people see you entertaining other men's attention, they'll question our engagement." James didn't know we were engaged. "Everyone knows. It was announced 2 weeks ago." He stops pacing, runs both hands through his hair. He knew. He just didn't care. Something in his voice makes me pause. Beneath the anger, there's something rawer. Something that looks almost like fear. "Mateo." I move closer. "What's really wrong?" He's quiet for a long moment. Inside, music plays. People laugh. Our fake life continues without us. "Catherine said something to me while you were at the bar." His jaw works. "She said she could tell we weren't real, that I was trying too hard, that everyone could see I was faking it. She was trying to get in your head." It worked. He finally looks at me and his eyes are storm dark. "Because she's right, I am trying too hard. Every touch is calculated. Every word is strategic. I've spent so long building walls that I don't know how to—" He stops, shakes his head. "How to what?" "How to let someone in, even when I'm supposed to." He moves to the railing, stares out at the city. "My father left when I was 12, just walked out one day and never came back. My mother fell apart. Isabella was too young to remember much of it, but His hands grip the metal. "I learned that love is just another way people leave, so I stopped believing in it." The confession hangs between us like something fragile. "Then why do this?" I ask softly. "Why not just refuse the promotion?" "Because refusing means admitting I'm broken, that I'm exactly what my father thought, not worth staying for." He turns and the vulnerability in his face makes my chest ache. "This arrangement, it's safe, controlled. I know exactly when it ends and how. No surprises. No one gets hurt." "Mateo, but tonight, watching James touch you, I wanted to break his hand." The words come out rough. "Not because he was ruining our cover, because I didn't want his hands on you. I wanted—" He stops. "It doesn't matter what I wanted." The space between us feels charged, dangerous. I should step back, maintain distance. Remember, this is just pretend. Instead, I close the gap. "Tell me what you wanted." His eyes drop to my mouth. "Isla, don't." "Don't what?" "Don't make this real." But his hand comes up, cups my face. "Don't make me forget this has an expiration date." "Maybe," my voice shakes. "Maybe that's not the worst thing." He leans in and I can feel his breath against my lips, warm and unsteady. For one perfect, terrible moment, I think he's going to kiss me, Really kiss me, not for show, but because we both want it. Then someone coughs behind us. We spring apart. A board member stands in the doorway, looking embarrassed. Sorry to interrupt. They're starting speeches soon. We'll be right there. Mateo's voice is steady again, professional. The moment shatters like glass. We follow the board member inside, return to the gala, smile and nod through speeches about quarterly earnings and 5-year projections. Mateo's hand rests on my waist, warm and constant, but something has shifted. The wall between pretend and real has started to crack. And I don't know if that's the most dangerous thing that could happen or if I've been hoping for it all along. The VP announcement comes during dessert. The CEO stands at the podium, champagne glass raised, talking about leadership and vision and the future of the company. Then, which is why I'm pleased to announce that Mateo Rivera will be taking on the role of Vice President of European Operations, effective immediately. Applause erupts. People stand. Mateo's hand finds mine under the table, squeezes so hard it almost hurts. He's won. We've won. 6 more weeks of this arrangement and then freedom. The thought should thrill me. Instead, it feels like countdown to something ending. Speech, someone calls out. Mateo stands and the room quiets. He's good at this, commanding attention, making people listen. But when he speaks, he's not looking at the crowd. He's looking at me. I've spent the last decade building my career, sacrificing personal connections for professional advancement, choosing work over everything else. His voice carries across the silent ballroom. And then I met someone who showed me that success without someone to share it with is just elaborate loneliness. My throat goes tight. Isla saw past the walls I built. She challenged me, made me laugh, reminded me that being good at my job doesn't have to mean being bad at being human. He raises his glass. So this promotion, this achievement I've worked toward for years, it means nothing compared to the privilege of building a life with her. The crowd erupts. People dab their eyes. Someone whistles. And I sit there frozen because every word he just said sounded true. Dangerously, impossibly true. He returns to the table. People swarm us with congratulations. His mother appears crying happy tears, pulling us both into a hug. Isabella is right behind her, whispering, "See, I told you it was real in my ear." Later, after the speeches end and the dancing begins again, Mateo pulls me onto the floor. We move to something slow and aching, and this time when he holds me, there's no calculation in it, no strategy, just his body against mine, solid and warm. "That's speech," I whisper against his shoulder. "Too much?" His hand traces patterns on my lower back, and it feels like a message written in a language I don't quite speak yet. It was perfect. Everyone believed it. Good. But his voice is strange, distant. "Did you believe it?" He doesn't answer for a long time. We just sway, his hands steady on my waist, my head against his chest where I can hear his heartbeat, too fast for someone who's calm. "I don't know," he finally says. "I wrote it as fiction, but saying it out loud, looking at you." He stops. "I don't know what's real anymore." Neither do I. That's the problem. 6 weeks ago, this was simple. A transaction, a business deal, mutual benefit. Now I know how he takes his coffee. I know he photographs buildings because people are too complicated. I know he calls his mother every Sunday and keeps his sister's childhood artwork in a box in his closet. I know the way he looks at me when he thinks I'm not watching, like he's solving a problem he can't figure out. "Mateo, we need to—" "Don't." His arms tighten around me. "Not tonight. Tonight, let's just be 2 people dancing. Not fake fiancés, not business partners, just this." So I do. I let myself sink into the fiction we're creating. Let his warmth and his steady heartbeat and the way he holds me like I'm something precious become real for this one moment. Around us, the gala continues. Catherine Blackwell watches from across the room, her expression unreadable. The board members congratulate each other on choosing wisely. Mateo's mother and sister watch us with matching smiles, and we dance like we're actually in love. The terrible thing is, I'm not sure we're acting anymore. The penthouse is dark when we get home. Mateo loosens his bow tie in the elevator, and I watch his reflection in the polished doors. He looks exhausted, triumphant and exhausted, like he won a war but lost something in the process. "Drink?" he asks as we step inside. "Please." He pours whiskey into 2 glasses, neat, and we sit on the couch in silence. Outside, the city glows. Inside, tension coils between us like a living thing. "You were remarkable tonight." He swirls his whiskey, watching the amber liquid catch the light. "Every person who talked to you came away charmed. You made it easy." "That's what you're paying me for." "It's not." He takes a drink, winces slightly. "You went beyond the arrangement. You made people believe not just that we're engaged, but that we're happy. That I'm," he stops, "that I'm different than I was before." "Maybe you are different. People don't change, Isla, not fundamentally. They just get better at hiding what they are." He sets down his glass, and his hand is shaking again. "My father used to say that, right before he left." The confession lands heavy between us. "Tell me about him," I say quietly, "if you want to." He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then, "He was a lot like me, controlled, focused on achievement. My mother loved him desperately, and he treated that love like a burden, like something inconvenient that got in the way of his real life." "Mateo, I was 12 when he left, old enough to understand that he chose his career over us, that we weren't enough to make him stay." His jaw tightens. "Isabella cried for months. Mom stopped eating. And I decided I would never let anyone have that kind of power over me. I would never love someone enough that losing them could break me." My chest aches for the 12-year-old boy who learned that love means loss. "So you built walls," I say. "Fort Knox has nothing on my emotional defenses." His laugh is hollow. "And it worked. For 20 years, it worked. I was safe, untouchable, alone, but that felt better than vulnerable." "What changed?" He finally looks at me, and his eyes are raw. "You spilled coffee on me." The words are simple. The truth behind them isn't. "You terrified me from day one," he continues. "Not because you were trying to, but because you made me want to be different, better, the kind of man who deserves someone like you." He reaches out, tucks hair behind my ear with infinite gentleness. And I realized I was more like my father than I wanted to admit. Using work as armor, keeping everyone at a distance, measuring every relationship by what it cost me instead of what it gave. "You're not like him," I say fiercely. "You stayed. When your mother needed you, when Isabella needed you, you stayed. That's everything your father wasn't." "I stayed out of obligation." "You stayed out of love. You're just too scared to call it that." His hand is still in my hair. His thumb traces my cheekbone, and the tenderness in the gesture makes my eyes sting. "What am I supposed to do?" His voice breaks slightly. "You're supposed to be temporary, a solution to a problem. But every day you're here, you become more—" He stops, drops his hand. "I'm drunk. I should stop talking." "You had 2 glasses of champagne and half a whiskey. You're not drunk." I shift closer. "Tell me what I become." "Real." The word is barely a whisper. "You become real." And real is terrifying because real can leave. Real can decide I'm not worth the effort. Real can look at me one day and realize what my father did, that I'm fundamentally broken in ways that can't be fixed. "Hey," I take his face in my hands, force him to look at me. "You are not broken. You're scared. There's a difference." "Is there?" "Yes. And before I can talk myself out of it, before logic can intervene, I lean forward and press my lips to his. It's not like our practice kisses. The ones we've rehearsed for cameras and family members. This is soft, tentative, an offering, not a performance. He goes very still. Then his hand comes up, cradles the back of my head, and he kisses me back like I'm air and he's been drowning. It lasts maybe 10 seconds. An eternity, not nearly enough. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Isla, don't. I press my finger to his lips. Don't analyze it. Don't tell me why it was a mistake, just... I stand, suddenly terrified by my own boldness. Good night, Mateo. I flee to my bedroom before he can respond, close the door, lean against it with my heart trying to beat out of my chest. Through the wall, I hear him moving, a glass being set down, footsteps, the quiet click of his bedroom door. I kissed my fake fiancé. I kissed Mateo Rivera, and it wasn't for show, and now everything is infinitely more complicated than it was supposed to be. I touch my lips, and they still feel warm from his. This was supposed to be pretend, clean, simple. When did it become anything but? Saturday morning tastes like regret. I wake up to sunlight and the memory of soft lips and the sick certainty that I've ruined everything. Mateo probably spent the night drafting contingency plans, revising our arrangement, finding a polite, clinical way to establish boundaries after I crossed every single one. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, practicing apologies. Coffee smell drifts under the door. He's up. Of course he's up. Mateo probably hasn't slept, too busy strategizing how to handle his disaster of a fake fiancé. I get dressed, real clothes, not pajamas. Armor for the awkward conversation ahead. My hair is a mess. I leave it. Everything about this morning should reflect how I feel. Disheveled, uncertain, caught. The kitchen is empty. Coffee in the pot, fresh and hot. A note on the counter in Mateo's precise handwriting. Went for a run. There's fruit in the fridge. A run. At 7 a.m. on a Saturday, he's definitely avoiding me. I pour coffee, sit at the island, and wait for the inevitable conversation where he reminds me about boundaries and professional distance and all the things I violated when I kissed him like I meant it. Because I did mean it. That's the problem. The door opens 40 minutes later. Mateo comes in flushed from exercise, in running clothes that cling to his frame in ways I definitely shouldn't notice. He stops when he sees me. "You're up," he says, like it's surprising to find me in our shared living space. "I live here." It comes out sharper than I mean it to. "I know, He grabs water from the fridge, drinks half the bottle, buying time. "I thought we should talk." Here it comes, the boundaries speech, the reminder that this is business. "About last night," he sets down the water. "What you said about me not being broken, about fear being different from fundamental flaws." That's not where I expected him to start. I spent all night thinking about it. He's still standing across the kitchen, maintaining distance. "You were right. I've been using my father's abandonment as justification to never try, to never risk being vulnerable, to," he stops, starts again, "to never let someone in. Mateo, I'm not good at this." He finally meets my eyes. The feelings part, the messy, uncontrolled, terrifying part, where I don't know what I'm doing or what happens next. "But his jaw works. "I want to try, if you do." My heart stops, restarts. "Try what, exactly?" "This, us, not the arrangement, not the fake engagement." He moves closer, and I can see the fear in his eyes, the courage it's taking him to say this. "Something real, if that's something you'd want. You're asking me to turn our fake relationship into a real one. I'm asking you to give me a chance to be the person you see when you look at me. Not perfect, not fixed. Just," he's right in front of me now, trying. Every logical bone in my body screams that this is a terrible idea. We have a contract, an end date, a carefully structured exit strategy. Real feelings will only complicate everything. But logic has nothing to do with the way my pulse races when he's near. The way his smile makes my chest feel too small. The way I've started thinking of this sterile penthouse as home because he's in it. I'm still paying you, he says quickly. That doesn't change. This isn't. I'm not trying to manipulate the arrangement. If you want to keep everything exactly as it was, we can do that. Pretend last night never happened. Maintain boundaries. I would never. Mateo. I put my hand over his mouth. Stop talking. He goes quiet, eyes wide. I kissed you because I wanted to, not because of the arrangement, not because I was confused or drunk or trying to get something from you. I lower my hand. I kissed you because somewhere between coffee spills and fake proposals and learning how you photograph buildings to avoid photographing people, I started falling for you. You did? Yes, you emotionally stunted workaholic. But I'm smiling. So yes, let's try. Real, whatever that means. The relief on his face is beautiful and heartbreaking. I don't know how to do this. Neither do I. We'll figure it out together. We have terrible timing. The engagement party is in 2 weeks. My sister's wedding is next month. My mother is planning our wedding. Mateo, I pull him closer. Shut up and kiss me. He does. This time there's no audience, no performance, just his mouth on mine, soft and seeking, like he's trying to learn what real feels like. His hands cup my face like I'm precious, like I'm chosen, not convenient. When we break apart, we're both grinning like idiots. This is going to be complicated, he says. Everything with you is complicated. Fair point. He kisses my forehead, and the gesture is so tender it makes my chest ache. For the record, last night when I made that speech, I meant every word. I know. You do? I'm learning to read you, Mateo Rivera. You're not as mysterious as you think you are. I kiss him again, quick and light. Now go shower, you smell like a gym. He laughs, actually laughs, bright and unguarded, and disappears into his room. I sit at the kitchen island, coffee going cold in my hands, trying to process what just happened. We're doing this, really doing this, turning fake into real, lies into truth, contract into choice. It should terrify me. Maybe it does, a little. But mostly it feels like finally stepping into the life I've been watching from the outside. The one where I'm brave enough to want something just because I want it, not because it's safe or strategic or solves a problem. The shower starts running in Mateo's bathroom. I smile at my coffee cup, at the city beyond the window, at nothing and everything. Real, it turns out, might be the best risk I ever took. Tuesday morning, Isabella calls. Emergency dress fitting. My maid of honor dropped out and I need you to step up. Please say yes. Mateo looks up from his laptop. We're both working from the dining table, feet tangled together under it. She wants me to be her maid of honor? I mouth at him. He shrugs, smiling. Welcome to the family. The dress is champagne silk. It fits perfectly. Isabella cries when she sees me in it. You're going to be my sister, she says, dabbing her eyes. Actually, my sister. I've always wanted a sister. Guilt twists in my stomach. She doesn't know the truth. Isabella, what if things aren't what they seem? You mean what if you and Mateo are secretly miserable? She adjusts my dress. Not possible. I've seen him look at you. That's not acting. Whatever your doubts are, set them aside. That night, I tell Mateo about the fitting. We're in bed, his bed, because after Saturday I moved my things in properly. Isabella is very invested in us working out, I say against his shoulder. She believes in happy endings. His hand traces patterns on my back. It's exhausting and adorable. Mateo, we should tell your family the truth about how this started. He goes still. No. They deserve to know. They deserve to see me happy, which I am, with you. That's not a lie. His arms tighten around me. The beginning was transactional. The now is real. Why confess to something we've moved past? Because if they find out later, it'll be worse. They won't find out. No one knows except us. He says it with absolute certainty. There's no reason for anyone to question what we have now. Famous last words, I think, but don't say. The wedding is beautiful chaos. Isabella is a radiant mess, crying through her vows while Marcus holds her hands and promises to love her, even when you reorganize my closet by color. The venue is a converted warehouse in Brooklyn, all exposed brick and string lights and flowers everywhere. Elena weeps elegantly in the front row. Mateo stands next to Marcus as best man, looking uncomfortable in his tux, but trying. I watch from my place with the bridesmaids, and my heart does something complicated in my chest. This could be us someday. Real vows, real promises, real forever, if we don't implode first. The reception is louder, dancing and champagne and speeches that make everyone cry. Isabella pulls me aside during dinner, already tipsy and glowing. "Thank you for doing this," she says, squeezing my hands. "Not just today, for saving my brother." "I didn't save him. You did. You gave him permission to be human again." She kisses my cheek, smelling like champagne and joy. "Don't ever let him convince you he's better alone. He's not. He's better with you." Then she's swept away by well-wishers, and I'm left at the table with Elena, who is watching me with knowing eyes. "She's not wrong, you know." Elena sips her wine. "Mateo was drowning before you. Very slowly, very competently, but drowning nonetheless. He's stronger than you give him credit for." "Oh, I know how strong he is. He had to be, after his father." She sets down her glass. "But strength and happiness are different things. He was strong and miserable. Now he's strong and learning to be happy. That's your influence." The guilt returns, sharp and insistent. "Elena, I know my son, Isla. I know when he's performing and when he's genuine." She covers my hand with hers. "Whatever doubts you're carrying, let them go. You're exactly what he needs." The music swells. Mateo appears at my elbow, offering his hand. "Dance with me?" We move to the floor, and he pulls me close. And for a few minutes, the guilt recedes. His arms around me, his warmth, his rare smile, this is real. Whatever else is complicated, this part is true. "Happy?" he murmurs in my ear. "Yes, and I mean it." "Good, because I'm going to kiss you in front of everyone, and I want you to know it has nothing to do with appearances." He does. Softly, sweetly, like we're the only people in the room. Applause erupts. Someone whistles. Isabella yells something inappropriate. When we break apart, Mateo's eyes are bright. "I love you." The words stop my heart. He's never said them before, not even in private. "You don't have to say it back," he says quickly. "I just needed you to know, in case—" He stops. "In case I never find the courage to say it again." "Mateo Rivera, you absolute disaster of a man." I pull him down for another kiss. "I love you too." His smile could power the city. We dance until my feet hurt, laugh until my stomach aches, and celebrate his sister's happiness while building our own. For one perfect night, everything feels possible. I should have known perfect moments never last. Sunday morning, I wake up to raised voices. Mateo's side of the bed is empty. I pull on his shirt and pad into the living room, where he's standing by the window in sweatpants, phone pressed to his ear, jaw tight with fury. "Absolutely not. You lost that right when you—" He stops, listens. "I don't care what you think you saw. Stay out of my life, Catherine." Catherine. My stomach drops. He hangs up, throws his phone on the couch like it burned him. "What did she want?" I ask from the doorway. He spins and the raw anger on his face softens when he sees me. "Nothing, she's just—" He shakes his head. "Trying to cause problems, same as always." "What kind of problems?" "The kind that don't matter, because I'm not listening to her. He crosses to me, cups my face. Forget I said anything. It's not important. But it feels important. It feels like storm clouds gathering. Monday, Catherine is waiting in the lobby when I leave for work. Isla, she steps into my path, blocking the exit. In daylight, she's even more beautiful. The kind of beautiful that makes you feel small. We should talk. I don't think we have anything to discuss. Really? Because I think you'd be interested to know that your engagement is built on a lie. Her smile is sharp. Or did Mateo tell you about the little arrangement he made? The contract he drafted? The money he's paying you to play pretend? My blood goes cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you? She steps closer. I saw the paperwork, before he locked it away. $50,000 to pretend to be his fiancée for 6 months so he could secure his promotion. Very pragmatic, very Mateo, and very fake. But I can't finish, because it's true. It started that way, even if it's not that anymore. Oh, honey, Catherine's voice drips false sympathy. You didn't know he kept the contract? Even after things got real between you? She air quotes the word, and it feels like a slap. Men like Mateo don't change. They just get better at making you think they have. You don't know anything about us. I know his family will be devastated when they find out. His mother, who's been planning your wedding. His sister, who probably cried tears of joy at the news. Catherine examines her nails, casual as murder. I wonder what they'll think when they learn it was all a business transaction. What do you want? My voice shakes. Nothing from you. I just think the truth should come out. Don't you? She walks past me toward the door. Isabella's wedding was lovely, by the way. So much love in that family. It would be a shame to poison it with lies. She leaves me standing there, shaking, as everything I've built starts to crack. I storm into Mateo's office without knocking. Did you keep the contract? I demand. After everything, after we decided to be real, did you keep the fucking contract? He looks up from his computer, and guilt flashes across his face before he can hide it. That's all the answer I need. Isla, don't. I'm shaking. Catherine cornered me this morning. She knows everything. About the arrangement, the money, the fake engagement. She saw the contract. His face goes white. That's impossible. It's locked in my safe. She saw it, Mateo, which means at some point it was accessible. And now she's threatening to tell your family. I move closer, and I can see him calculating, strategizing, always strategizing. Why didn't you destroy it? Why keep evidence of the lie? Because, he stands, moves around the desk, because it protected us both. Legal documentation of what this was, in case things went wrong. Things did go wrong. We fell in love, remember? The contract became obsolete. Or it became insurance. He reaches for me and I step back. His hand drops. Isla, please, let me explain. Explain what? That you never really trusted this? That even after I moved into your room, after I told you I loved you, you still needed a legal safety net? My voice breaks. What are we, Mateo? Really? He's struggling, and watching him struggle hurts. We're two people who got lucky, who turned something transactional into something real. The contract doesn't change that. It does. It means you never fully committed, never burned the boats. You kept an exit strategy while asking me to risk everything. I kept it because I'm terrified. The words explode out of him. Because everyone I've ever loved has left. And I needed to believe I had some control if you left too. If you realized I'm not worth. He stops, breathes. When he speaks again, his voice is quieter, broken. The contract was never about you. It was about me being too damaged to trust happiness without terms and conditions. My anger wavers. Because I see it now, the 12-year-old boy whose father walked away, trying desperately to control the uncontrollable. I understand why you kept it, I say quietly, but Catherine is going to tell your family. She's going to expose everything, and they're going to know we lied to them from the beginning. Then we tell them first, he's decided. Before she can, we control the narrative. Tell them what exactly? That you paid me to pretend to love you? That every family dinner, every event, every sweet moment was part of an arrangement? I laugh, and it sounds bitter. They'll never forgive us. Maybe they will, if we're honest about how it changed, how we changed. He tries again to reach for me, and this time I let him. His hands are shaking. I love you, Isla. That part is true. That part has nothing to do with the contract. I know. I love you too. I touch his face, memorizing it. But love isn't always enough. Not when it's built on lies. So what do we do? And I realize I don't have an answer. The storm we've been avoiding has finally arrived, and I don't know if we're strong enough to survive it. I pack while Mateo's at work. It's cowardly, I know, but I can't watch his face as I explain why I'm leaving when I'm not even sure I understand it myself. The penthouse feels like a museum again. Beautiful, cold, full of things I was never meant to touch. My suitcase sits open on the bed. 3 days of clothes, my laptop, Nona's photo. Everything I brought still fits in one bag, like I was never really here at all. My phone buzzes. Mateo, where are you? We need to talk about strategy. Strategy. Like this is still a problem he can solve with planning and precision. Like Catherine's threat is just another business obstacle to overcome. I don't respond. Instead, I zip the suitcase and take one last look at the room that briefly felt like home. The bed we shared, the window where I'd watched the city wake up while he slept, the bathroom counter where his razor still sits next to my cheap drugstore moisturizer, the contrast of us captured in toiletries. I leave my key on the kitchen island. The sapphire ring sits beside it, catching light from the window. It was never really mine anyway. The elevator ride down feels longer than it should. 42 floors to think about all the ways I'm making a mistake. 42 floors to remember how his hands felt in my hair. How he said, I love you, like the words were being pulled from somewhere deep and terrified. But love built on lies isn't stable, and I'm tired of waiting for the foundation to crack. My old apartment smells like mildew and regret. The water stain on the ceiling has grown. The radiator still clanks. Nothing has changed except me, and even that feels temporary. Like I'm just a girl who borrowed a better life for a few weeks and now has to return to reality. I sit on the thrift store couch and stare at my phone. 17 missed calls from Mateo. 8 texts increasingly desperate. Where are you? Isla, please, let's talk about this. I'm coming home early, just wait for me. I can fix this. We can fix this. Don't leave. Please don't leave. The last one, sent 10 minutes ago. I love you. That's the only truth that matters. But it's not, is it? Love doesn't erase lies. Love doesn't make his family forgive us when they learn we've been deceiving them for months. Love doesn't solve the fact that Catherine has a weapon and she's going to use it. I turn my phone face down and close my eyes. This is the right choice, the safe choice, the choice that protects his family from more hurt, that saves them from learning their son and brother built his happiness on deception. So why does it feel like I'm ripping my own heart out? Mateo stands in his new office and feels nothing. The space is bigger, corner view. His name on the door in gold letters, Mateo Rivera, VP of European Operations. Everything he's worked toward for 10 years, achieved in 6 months because he was willing to lie for it. The irony tastes like ash. His assistant brings champagne. Congratulations, Mr. Rivera, you've earned this. Has he? Or did he just prove he's willing to deceive everyone who matters to get what he wants? His father would be proud. The thought makes him sick. He dismisses the assistant, closes the door, and calls Isla for the 19th time. Voicemail. Her voice, bright and professional. Hi, you've reached Isla Chen. Leave a message. It's me, again. He sits at his new desk, expensive leather and imported wood. I know you're angry. I know I should have destroyed the contract, but Isla, his voice breaks. This office, this promotion, none of it means anything if you're not here too. The voicemail cuts him off. Time's up. He tries texting instead. I went to your apartment. You weren't there. Where are you? Please tell me you're safe. No response. His door opens. Isabella holding a congratulatory balloon and a look of concern. Hey, why aren't you celebrating? You just made VP. Isla left. The balloon droops in her hands. What? Why? Because I'm an idiot who kept a contract he should have burned. He gestures at the office, the view, the trappings of success. I got everything I wanted and lost the only thing that mattered. Isabella sits in the chair across from him. Okay, back up. Start from the beginning. And because he's exhausted and heartbroken and tired of carrying secrets, he tells her everything. The fake engagement, the arrangement, the money, Catherine's threat, the way something transactional became real, and he was too damaged to trust it. When he finishes, Isabella is quiet for a long moment. You're an idiot, she finally says. I know, but you're an idiot who loves her. She leans forward. Mateo, everyone makes mistakes. The question is, are you going to let this one define you, or are you going to fix it? How? She won't answer my calls. She won't see me. And even if she did, Catherine is still going to tell mom and dad and everyone that we lied. Then we tell them first. Isabella says it like it's simple. We call a family meeting. We confess everything. We control the narrative, like you always say. They'll hate me. They'll be hurt, disappointed, probably angry. She reaches across the desk, takes his hand. But they're family. They love you. And if you come clean, if you show them you're trying to do better, they'll forgive you, eventually. And if they don't, then you live with the consequences of your choices. She squeezes his hand. But Mateo, living with consequences is still better than living with lies. Trust me. He looks at his sister, wise beyond her years, believing in redemption even when he can't. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You were just too busy building walls to notice. She stands, straightens her dress. Now, are you going to sit in this fancy office feeling sorry for yourself? Or are you going to fight for her? The answer, when it comes, feels like the first honest thing he said in months. I'm going to fight. Sunday dinner at the Rivera house is usually warm chaos. Today it feels like a funeral. Mateo sits at the head of the table, his father's old spot, with Isabella beside him for moral support. His mother serves roast chicken with hands that shake slightly because she knows something is wrong. She always knows. Where's Isla? Elena asks, setting down the serving dish. You said she'd be here. She's not coming. Mateo's throat is tight. Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something about Isla and me, about how we really met. His stepfather, a kind man who married Elena 5 years ago and never tried to replace what was lost, sets down his fork. Go on. So Mateo tells them, all of it, the ultimatum about the promotion, the fake engagement arrangement, the contract and the money, the way it started as transaction and became real. His voice stays steady through most of it, only breaking when he talks about Isla leaving. When he finishes, the silence is deafening. Elena's face is pale. You lied to me, to all of us, for months. Yes. You used that girl, paid her to pretend to love you so you could advance your career. His stepfather's voice is cold. That's not the man I thought you were, Mateo. I know. He can't look at them. I know, and I'm sorry. But it's important you understand. Isla didn't use anyone. She was honest from the start about what this was. I'm the one who kept lying even after it became real. I'm the one who hurt her by not trusting what we had. Why are you telling us this now? Elena's voice trembles. If Catherine hadn't threatened to expose you, would you have ever told the truth? The question lands like a blade. I don't know. Probably not. Which makes me exactly like... He stops. Can't say it. Like your father? Elena finishes quietly. Yes, it does. The words hit harder than a slap. Mateo has spent his whole life trying not to become his father, and here he is, proving that damage runs deeper than intention. I called you all here because I need to make this right. He finally meets his mother's eyes. Not for my career, not because someone threatened to expose me, but because Isla deserves better than lies. And so do you. What about what we deserve? Elena stands, her chair scraping back. I welcomed that girl into our family. I planned her engagement party. I cried at the thought of you finally being happy. Tears streak her face. How could you do this to us? How could you do this to her? Because I was scared. The admission feels like bleeding out. Because Dad left and I learned that love is just another way to get hurt, and I thought if I controlled everything, the terms, the timeline, the exit strategy, I'd be safe. But I wasn't safe. I just became someone I don't recognize. Someone who hurts the people who care about him and calls it protection. Isabella's hand finds his under the table. Squeezes. Elena is crying now, silent tears that kill him. I don't know who you are right now. I'm your son. I'm broken and trying. And I'm asking, his voice cracks. I'm begging for a chance to fix this, to be better than what I've been. His stepfather speaks carefully. What do you want from us? Forgiveness, eventually, but first. Mateo pulls out his phone, opens his contacts. I need your help finding Isla. She's not at her apartment. She's not answering calls. And I need to tell her that I destroyed the contract, that I called my lawyer this morning and had him shred every copy, that the only thing I want now is her, and I'm willing to lose everything else to prove it. Elena wipes her eyes, looks at her husband. Some silent conversation passes between them. I'll call her mother, Elena finally says. Mrs. Chen and I have been planning wedding details. If anyone knows where Isla is, it's her mother. Thank you. Mateo's voice breaks on the words. I'm not doing this for you. Elena's voice is steel wrapped in grief. I'm doing it for Isla. That girl deserves to know you're trying, even if she decides you're not worth the effort. It's more than he deserves, he knows that. But maybe, if he's lucky, it'll be enough. The photo of Catherine burns in Mateo's fireplace. He watches the edges curl and blacken, her face disappearing into ash. He kept it for 2 years, a reminder of his mistake, proof that he'd tried once to be normal and failed. Now it's just smoke and regret. His phone rings. Unknown number. Mr. Rivera? This is Mrs. Chen. Elena Rivera gave me your number. Isla's mother. His heart hammers. Mrs. Chen, thank you for calling. Is she all right? She's here, at home. She arrived yesterday, said the engagement was off, and has been crying in her room ever since. Mrs. Chen's voice is tight with mother fury. What did you do to my daughter? I lied to her. I lied to everyone, and I'm trying to fix it. He grips the phone tighter. Mrs. Chen, I love your daughter. I know I have no right to ask this, but is there any way I could see her, talk to her? Silence. Then, you're the man with the contract? The one who paid her to pretend? Of course Isla told her mother. She tells her mother everything. Yes, but that's not... It became real. What I feel for her is real. Real. Mrs. Chen's laugh is sharp. My daughter came home with a suitcase and a broken heart because you couldn't decide if she was a business transaction or a person. That doesn't sound very real to me. You're right. I was a coward who couldn't trust that someone could love me without conditions. The admission tastes like failure. But I'm here now. I'm choosing her, if she'll have me. More silence. He can hear muffled voices. Mrs. Chen talking to someone, probably Isla. Then, she says she doesn't want to see you. The words hit like bullets. Could you tell her something for me? I'll tell her. I'm not promising she'll listen. Tell her I burned the contract. Tell her I confessed everything to my family. Tell her, his voice breaks. Tell her I'm done choosing fear over her, and I'll wait as long as it takes for her to believe me. Mrs. Chen is quiet for a beat. You hurt my daughter. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it if she gives me the chance. Men like you always say that, then they leave. The bitterness in her voice suggests personal history. Why should I believe you're different? Because I'm the one who got left. I know what it does to you. I know how it destroys your ability to trust anyone. He stares at the ashes in the fireplace. And I refuse to become the person who made me this way. Isla taught me that. She taught me that scared and broken aren't the same as unfixable. Silence stretches, then quietly, she's crying again. I haven't seen her this upset since her grandmother died. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't undo damage, Mr. Rivera. Mrs. Chen's voice softens slightly. But effort does. If you want my daughter back, and I'm not saying she should take you back, you're going to have to prove you're worth the risk. Tell me what to do. Anything. That's the thing, Mrs. Chen sighs. You can't ask me what to do. You have to figure it out yourself. That's what real love looks like. It's not about grand gestures someone tells you to make. It's about knowing the person well enough to understand what they need and being brave enough to give it to them. The call ends. Mateo sits in front of his dying fire and thinks about everything he knows about Isla Chen. The way she takes her coffee, the spot behind her ear that makes her shiver when he kisses it, how she talks to her grandmother's photo when she thinks no one is listening, her fear of disappointing her parents, her dream of financial freedom, the way she looks at the city lights like they hold promises. He knows her, better than he's ever known anyone. Now he just needs to prove it. The room I grew up in feels like a time capsule. Posters of bands I used to love, trophies from high school debate team, a twin bed too small for an adult, everything frozen in amber, waiting for a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. I lie on the bed and stare at the glow-in-the-dark stars I put on the ceiling when I was 12. They're still there, faded, but persistent, like hope I can't quite kill. Mom knocks softly. Isla, can I come in? Yeah. She sits on the edge of the bed and the mattress dips. I talk to Mateo. My chest tightens. What did he say? That he loves you, that he made mistakes, that he's trying to fix them. She smooths my hair, the way she used to when I was small and scared. He sounded sincere. He's always sincere. That's the problem. I sit up, pulling my knees to my chest. He sincerely thought a contract would protect us both. He sincerely believed keeping evidence of our lie was smart. He's sincere about everything except trusting that love doesn't need an escape clause. Is that what you need? For him to trust you completely? I need him to choose me over his fear, not because I'm forcing him to, but because he wants to. Tears leak down my face. I need him to believe we're worth the risk. Mom is quiet for a moment. Then, when your father and I got married, his family disapproved. They thought I wasn't good enough, not educated enough, not from the right background. We could have hidden our relationship, kept it secret until they came around. But your father said no. He said the people who mattered to him needed to accept the whole truth, or we couldn't build a life together. I didn't know that, because it's painful and embarrassing, and it almost cost us his family. She takes my hand. But he chose me anyway, publicly, completely, and eventually his family came around. Not because we convinced them with perfect behavior, but because they saw that what we had was real, even when it was inconvenient. Mateo tried to hide what we are, to his family, to his company, to everyone. He did. but now he's trying to do the opposite. Elena called me Isla. She told me what he confessed to his family, how he destroyed the contract, how he's risking everything, his relationship with his mother, his sister's respect, his reputation, to tell the truth about you. Mom squeezes my hand. That's not nothing. It's not enough. Maybe not, but it's a start. She stands, moves toward the door. For what it's worth, I think he's terrified of loving you. Not because you're not lovable, but because you are. And that scares him more than anything. She leaves me with that thought, and the glow-in-the-dark stars and the growing certainty that I ran because I'm scared too. Scared that if I stay, he'll leave eventually. Scared that if I believe in us, we'll fall apart anyway. Scared that love, real, messy, complicated love, is just another way to get hurt. Maybe I'm more like Mateo than I want to admit. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. It's Isabella. Don't delete this, just read it. Against my better judgment, I open the message. My brother is an idiot, but he's an idiot who loves you so much he's willing to destroy everything he built to prove it. He told our mother the truth. He shredded the contract. He's been sitting outside your old apartment every night this week, waiting in case you come back. This isn't manipulation or strategy. This is him, broken and trying. If you love him, and I think you do, please give him a chance to show you he's done running. Below the text, a photo. Mateo sitting in his car outside my old building, head in his hands. The timestamp says 2 a.m. last night. He's been waiting for me, every night, in case I come home. My heart cracks open. I take the bus back to the city at 11 p.m. Mom doesn't try to stop me. She just hugs me tight and whispers, "Be brave, baby. Love is always worth being brave for." The bus smells like stale coffee and other people's exhaustion. I lean my head against the window and watch small towns blur into suburbs, blur into city lights. Each mile closer feels like stepping toward a cliff, uncertain if I'm about to fly or fall. My old apartment building looks the same. Crumbling brick, flickering streetlight, the bodega on the corner still open and glowing. And there, parked across the street, is Mateo's Tesla. He's inside. I can see his silhouette, head down, probably working on his laptop because Mateo Rivera doesn't know how to stop moving even when he's waiting. I stand on the sidewalk for a full minute, watching him, building courage, remembering why I left and why I'm back, and whether the space between those two things is enough to build something real on. Then I walk to the car and tap on the window. He looks up and the expression on his face, shock, hope, fear, relief, all at once, makes my decision for me. He opens the door, steps out. We stand there in the pool of streetlight, two people who tried to fake it and accidentally made it real. "You're here," he says, like he can't believe it. "Isabella sent me a photo of you having a breakdown in your car. Very manipulative of her. I'll thank her later." He takes a step closer, stops, uncertain. "Isla, you kept the contract. I cut him off because we need to deal with this first. Even after everything, you kept it. Why?" "Because I'm damaged." The admission is raw. "Because every person I've ever loved has left. And I thought if I had an exit strategy, if I maintained some control, I'd survive when you inevitably did the same. I'm not your father. I know, but my brain doesn't. It just keeps screaming that this is temporary, that you'll wake up one day and realize I'm not worth the effort, that the smart thing is to protect myself before you can hurt me." He runs both hands through his hair. "So I kept the contract, insurance against heartbreak, which is insane because the only person it protected me from was you, and you're the only person I want. Mateo, I destroyed it. Not because Catherine threatened us, but because keeping it was like keeping one foot out the door. And I don't want out. I want in, all the way in, even if it terrifies me." He closes the distance between us. I told my family everything. I confessed to my mother that I lied, to Isabella that I used her trust, to everyone that I built this beautiful thing with you on a foundation of deception. And you know what they said? What? That damage doesn't define you. Trying does. His eyes are wet. So I'm trying. I'm choosing you over fear, truth over safety, risk over control. I'm choosing to believe that you won't leave just because you could. Because that's what love is, right? Believing in someone even when you're terrified? I can't breathe, can't think, can only feel the truth of his words settling into my bones. I'm scared too, I whisper. I ran because I thought if I left first, it wouldn't hurt as much when you eventually left me. But it hurt anyway.
It hurt more because I chose it.
So let's both be scared, together. He cups my face. Let's build something real out of all this mess. No contracts, no exit strategies, no timelines. Just us, figuring it out as we go. What if we fail? Then we fail together. But Isla, he leans his forehead against mine. I'd rather fail with you than succeed with anyone else. And there, under a broken streetlight in front of my terrible apartment building, I let myself believe in the impossible. That two people who started with lies might end with truth. Okay, I breathe. Okay? Okay, let's try. For real this time. I pull him down and kiss him, soft and certain. But Mateo, if you ever make another contract involving our relationship, I'm setting it on fire while you watch. He laughs against my mouth. Deal. We don't go back to the penthouse that night. Instead, we sit in his car and talk until sunrise. About his father, my family, the lies we told ourselves and each other. About what we want and what scares us, and how to build trust when you've broken it into pieces. I want you to move back in, he says as dawn breaks over the city. Not because of appearances or contracts, because I sleep better when you're there. Because coming home to you is the best part of my day. I want separate bank accounts, I counter. I'll pay half the bills when I can. I need to know I'm choosing to be there, not stuck there. Done. And therapy, for both of us. Because we're both disasters, and we should probably talk to professionals about that. I'll make appointments tomorrow. He kisses my temple. What else? Honesty, complete honesty, even when it's hard, even when it's embarrassing, even when you think I'll leave because of it. I turn to face him. No more secrets, Mateo. No more protecting me from things you think will hurt. We deal with everything together, or this doesn't work. Everything together, he agrees. Even the parts that scare me. Especially those parts. The sun climbs higher. People start to emerge from buildings, beginning their days. The city wakes up around us, indifferent to our small revolution. Should we tell your family we're back together? I ask. Probably, though my mother might slam the door in my face. He doesn't sound worried, resigned maybe. She's pretty angry. She has a right to be. We deceived her. We did, but he takes my hand, threads our fingers together. We're going to spend the rest of however long we get proving that what we have now is worth what it costs to get here. And if that takes months or years or decades, I'm in for all of it. Decades, huh? At least. I'm very thorough. He grins, and it's the smile I fell in love with. Rare and real and entirely mine. Fair warning, I'm probably going to be terrible at this, at being vulnerable and trusting, and all the things normal people do naturally. But I'm going to try so hard, Isla, every single day. Lucky for you, I'm pretty good at patience. I kiss him, morning light and possibility. And I'm excellent at calling you on your bullshit when you start retreating into your head. A necessary skill for dating me. Dating, is that what we're calling this? We could call it an exclusive, long-term, emotionally committed partnership with the potential for future permanence. He's using his business voice, and it's ridiculous and perfect. Or dating, whatever you prefer. I laugh until I cry, and he holds me through both. And when we finally drive back to the penthouse, it feels like coming home instead of returning to a cage. The path forward won't be easy. We have amends to make, trust to rebuild, families to convince that we're not completely insane for trying this. But for the first time since this whole thing started, I believe we might actually make it. Elena answers the door with a face like stone. Mom, Mateo starts, but she holds up a hand. Isla, come in. Mateo, you wait outside. I glance at him, but he nods. It's okay. I deserve this. Inside, Elena's house is warm and lived in. Family photos cover the walls. This is a home where people actually live. Tea? Elena asks, already moving to the kitchen. Sure, thank you. We sit at her kitchen table in heavy silence. Elena pours tea, adds honey to mine without asking. She remembers. Mrs. Rivera, Elena, please. She sets down her teacup. Too formal for family, even when that family has lied to me for months. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for deceiving you. You took money to pretend to love my son. Just fact. Why? Because I was desperate. I had debt, parents pressuring me, a future that looked like giving up everything I wanted. I meet her eyes. Mateo offered an escape. It seems simple. No one gets hurt. Except everyone got hurt. Yes, my voice cracks, and I can't take that back. Elena studies me. Do you love him? Now truly? Yes, no hesitation. More than I thought I could love anyone. Sorry is easy, change is hard. Elena's eyes are wet. I'm not angry because you lied. I'm angry because you used my son's wounds. You knew he was scared and you used that. You're right. We both chose the contract because it felt safer than vulnerability. I wipe my eyes. So what's different now? We're choosing to be brave, together. We're in therapy, being honest, facing consequences, and asking for forgiveness we probably don't deserve. Silence stretches. Outside, Mateo paces. Finally, I can't forgive you yet, maybe not for a long time. She stands, looks out at her pacing son. But I can see you're trying, and trying is more than many people do. You'll attend family dinner every Sunday, answer questions honestly, let Isabella interrogate you, and you'll prove through consistent action that what you have now is worth what it cost. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, Elena almost smiles. And you two will plan our joint birthday party this summer. Every detail. If you survive that without killing each other, maybe we'll believe you're serious. I laugh. That's perfect. I know. She walks me to the door. Your son is dramatic. Did you know that? I raised him. Of course I know. She kisses my cheek, then his. Now go home. Call me Sunday. In the car, Mateo exhales. How bad? Manageable. We're on probation. I take his hand. But she's willing to let us try. That's more than I hoped for. Sunday dinner at the Rivera house has become our ritual. Elena serves paella, tells embarrassing Mateo stories. Isabella and Marcus show honeymoon photos. Mateo's stepfather asks about my job. Real job now, with salary I negotiated myself. It's beautifully, boringly normal. After dinner, I help Elena with dishes while the men watch football. How's therapy? Elena asks. Hard. Good. We fight about real things now. I dry a plate. Last week we argued for 2 hours about getting a dog. Are you responsible enough for a puppy? Absolutely not, but we're getting one anyway. I grin. Mateo bought 17 dog training books. Elena laughs. He over-prepares for everything. She hands me another plate. Isla, I've forgiven you, both of you. I see how you've grown. That's enough. My eyes sting. Thank you. Don't make me regret it, she's smiling. Now save my son from pretending to understand football. I find Mateo on the porch. He pulls me close, and I fit against him perfectly. Your mom forgave us, I say. I know, she told me last week. He kisses my head. The birthday party helped. We only almost killed each other twice. I've blocked out the great frosting debacle. He pulls back serious. Isla, move in with me, officially. Put your name on the lease. Adopt the dog together. Build a life, a real one. We already live together. You have a drawer. I want you to have a home. He cups my face. Our place. I want to trip over your shoes and complain while secretly loving they're there. I'm crying happy tears. That was almost romantic until the shoe complaint. Working on my speeches, give me time. He kisses me. So? Yes, but I'm painting one wall red. One wall, any color. He grins. Though, maybe not red. Mateo Rivera. He kisses me quiet, and we stay wrapped in each other and the future we're building honestly. Inside, someone turns up the TV. Isabella laughs. Elena calls us for dessert. This is real, messy, imperfect, worth every risk. 1 year after the coffee spill that started everything, we go back to the building. Mateo's office, the place where I ruined his shirt and nearly my entire future. He's moved to the VP floor now, but his old office still exists, unchanged. Why are we here? I ask as he unlocks the door. Because I need to do something I should have done a year ago. He pulls out a small box from his pocket. Something without contracts or arrangements or escape clauses. My breath catches. He doesn't kneel. We're past grand gestures and performative romance. Instead, he just holds the box between us, and his hands are steady. Isla Chen, you spilled coffee on me and I fell in love with you somewhere between panic and translation and learning that fear is just another word for something worth protecting. I made every mistake possible. I lied. I kept contingency plans. I hurt you because I was too scared to trust what we had. He opens the box. Inside is a ring, simple gold with a small diamond. I can't promise I'll never be scared again, but I can promise I'll choose you anyway, every time, for as long as you'll let me. The ring isn't the sapphire placeholder, it's real, like us. Is this a proposal? My voice shakes. It's a promise that I'm done running, done protecting myself from the best thing that ever happened to me, done treating love like a business negotiation. He takes the ring out. Marry me, not for a promotion or appearances or any reason except that I want to spend the rest of my life learning how to be brave enough to deserve you. You already deserve me, you ridiculous man. I'm crying and laughing simultaneously. You've been earning it every day for the past year. Every therapy session, every honest conversation, every time you choose truth over safety, you've been proving you're worth the risk. So is that a yes? It's an absolutely, completely, no doubts remaining yes. I hold out my hand and he slides the ring on. It fits perfectly. But Mateo, I'm keeping my own last name, and we're having a small wedding. And you're writing your own vows because I want to hear you say all the embarrassing emotional things in front of our families. Done. Done. And I'm going to need therapy just to get through writing those vows. He pulls me close, and his smile is everything. Anything else? Just one thing. I loop my arms around his neck. Love me. Messily, imperfectly, honestly. No performances, no pretending. Just us, figuring it out as we go. I can do that. He kisses me, and it tastes like coffee and new beginnings, and all the ways we broke before learning how to be whole. I've been practicing for a year. We leave the office hand in hand, and as we pass the coffee station where this all started, Mateo grabs 2 cups and hands me one. To terrible decisions that turn into the best thing that ever happened to us? To being brave enough to try. I tap my cup against his. Again and again and again. We drink terrible office coffee and plan our real wedding and laugh about the elaborate lie that taught us how to tell the truth. About how sometimes the best love stories start with the wrong reasons and end with all the right ones. And later, when people ask how we met, We tell them the truth. I spilled coffee on him. He offered me a fake engagement, and somewhere in the middle of pretending, we forgot we were acting. Sometimes the best real things start with beautiful lies. But what you do after, that's what matters. And what we did was choose each other, every day, even when it was terrifying, especially then.